What's your opinion on mentorship?
I think mentorship is one of the most important things that anybody can do from a professional and personal level, whether you're the mentor or the mentee. That relationship is mutually beneficial and one of the most important things you can do.
I agree.
If you're, and I've been so fortunate. I have some amazing mentors. And one of the things I would tell young people that are going off into the world of business and into the rest of their lives, man, you'd be amazed at what people will tell you if you just ask.
Right? That's what I'm finding too.
Yeah,
like you can, I've gone up to the CEO of G5 and just be like, "Hey Dan, I'm wondering about this, and that," and he could charge me thousands of dollars in consulting because basically G5 is a giant Mazama.
Yeah.
He just told me.
Yeah. No, you just go ask him and like, "Oh yeah, here, let me tell you about it."
Yeah.
And they'll give you the answers to the test before the test arrives.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But instead of test, it's life.
Yeah, it's life, and it's your business, and you know what I've found is I'll go to them with an idea, you know, in a few cases like, well, no, I think that's a bad idea, but in most cases what they'll say is like, well, that's a good idea, but if you do it this way, and this way, it's going to work better.
So that's a really good mentor. What do you think? So I've talked to a lot of people when I'm like, hey, because I have the same opinion as you. And the thing is that, believe it or not, do you know Gary Vaynerchuk?
Yeah.
So he's actually, he thinks mentorship is a bunch of bullshit, which I disagree with. But all I'm saying is that there is people that disagree.
Well, Gary's a Jets fan, so he's fundamentally wired crazy. Yeah.
Right? So with mentors, I have a few in town, a couple in Chicago, and they've all helped me big. One of my biggest is Preston, the owner of 5 Talent, and he helps me a lot. Dan Hoven's given me a lot of advice with G5. But I'll have people that say, okay, yeah, bud, that's great, but how do I get a mentor? Do I just go up and ask? I'm like, no. You don't say, hey, Drew, would you mind being my mentor? You got so much shit on your plate, but would you mind coaching little old bud over here? And you'd be like, how do I get out of this? Instead, I could say to Drew or Preston or Dan, just send a text, just being like, or a call, like, hey, I was curious. I'm looking on hiring this person, and I wasn't really quite sure this is what they're for, or I'm looking on what I should do when it comes to making my balance sheet, being able to support me for the next 3 years. Where should I be looking at the cash flow percentage? And then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, this, and that. And then you do that again in a week or 3. And then you do it again. And all of a sudden, it's just this unofficial thing. You just don't ask.
Well,
you don't ask for this. You just kind of...
That works very well, and then the other the thing that I found that honestly works extremely well is actually getting a group together. So it's like YPO, if you're familiar with YPO.
Right. Yeah.
You put together a group like that, and then you set up more of a structure. You know, it can't be more than like 10 or 12 people, but you do that because there's in order to get real advice and really get deep into the weeds, there needs to be some trust and confidentiality. And if you have a group that then you meet with, you know, we did this and we haven't met for a little while now.
I do this with Opportunity Knocks.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Preston is the facilitator.
Oh, that's where I was at today with Rod Ray.
Cool.
Was at Opportunity Knocks.
Yeah, and we basically said everybody, this is all confidential, and we get into the weeds.
Yeah, no, but you need to have that, because otherwise, you know, in a one-on-one setting you can trust people, but you know, you want to be able to trust that confidentiality to really lay yourself bare.
Right.
And you know, so if you put together a peer group of like-minded individuals, you probably need to be in. One of the rules for ours was that you couldn't have 2 people in the same industry, because then there's some withholding because you don't want to give your competitor something.
That's what ours is too. Yeah.
Yeah, but you sit down and you share ideas. You talk about your business. You talk about what you're doing, and
These organizations, by the way, are in almost every community.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like every one that has like over probably 50,000 people. But like almost every one, there's one of these type of things. They're called different things, but just Google search it. Like look for like mentor group or collaborations, stuff like that, and YPO. In your town, and you'll be able to find something.
Yeah, it's the most valuable thing you can do if you're going to be in business.
Joining Opportunity Knocks is probably the most valuable. The amount of stuff that I've learned and the amount of things, the pitfalls that I was able to avoid because I had 9 other guys that have already been there and girls that have been there and did that.
Yeah, it's mutual mentorship, you know, and you know, and also try to be the dumbest guy in the group. You know, I mean, that was my goal, and so I just like, man, I get in there, and so I was sort of the mascot because I was the football guy, but I was in the room, you know, the group that we have, fabulously smart people, and it's kind of fun to throw yourself into the deep end and see if you can swim with them,
right?
And but you sit there and everybody's throwing their business ideas out. Well, even if you're not talking about your business, you're watching somebody talk about their business. And there are takeaways from all of it, you know, that are really interesting. So yeah, do that.